through protests, he said, his saccharine tone sour. Maybe he was right. I had organized volunteer projects before, but had never been involved in anything like this. It was Nashville, Tennessee, 2007. Mayor Bill Purcell was drafting his last budget before leaving office. He had promised to build 200 units of affordable housing, but the funding was missing from the budget. Without the money, his promise was hollow. Homeless advocates and activists were beginning to apply public pressure. To support their advocacy, Andrew and I joined 5 other student organizers, including Richard, a chestnut-eyed sophomore who hailed from Huntsville and taught me how to smoke under Alabama skies. Our plan was to hold a letter-writing campaign on campus that would culminate in a march and rally at the end of the week to deliver the letters to Purcell. Despite collecting over 700 signed letters, well over our goal, the 7 of us were still new to the intricacies of social activism. We still held the invincibility of youth. But as the week dragged on and tensions heightened, crescents of worry settled beneath our eyes. As an outgoing mayor, what did Purcell have to lose? Apparently enough. Enough for someone in his office to call one of their friends who was a top administrator at Lipscomb University, our small Christian liberal arts college. Enough for that administrator to summon us and recommend that we drop the action altogether and hold an educational forum on campus next fall. But the time to act is now, I countered, before the budget address. Instead of sympathizing with our urgency, the administrator scolded us about how young, idealistic, and naive we were. He would later pull Andrew aside, man to man, hoping he could bring him to his senses.
"I just talked to a very important person in this city,"
he told Andrew.
"And the activists you're working with can't be trusted. Be careful who you associate with. You're both good students. I'd hate for anything to happen to you here."
My eyes stung. I felt certain we were doing a good thing, the right thing. But perhaps the administrator was right. We were certainly fresh. A heap of reasons we should cancel the rally, including the possibility of repercussions, weighed down our spirits. We left the student center feeling as if we were riding away on bikes with deflated tires. We made our way to the computer lab, where we still had hours of printing, planning, and emailing to do. In the lab, the minutes blurred into hours. My phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. The soft voice of a man on the other line said he was Father Charles Strobel. I combed my mind for a connection. Father who? He had heard about the rally and offered to give the opening prayer. I stammered. Who was he again? How did he get my number? Would it be okay if I talked to the other students and call you back? I asked. I didn't know then that I was speaking to the former Catholic priest who was the father of homeless services in Nashville, founder of the nonprofit organization Room in the Inn, and the most trusted homeless advocate in the city, both on and off the streets. I also didn't know that I was speaking to the person who would become my mentor and close friend, and who would walk alongside me as I co-founded another nonprofit and ripened into a homeless advocate, organizer, and chaplain myself. Back in the computer lab, Andrew and I could barely keep our eyes open. Before we turned in for the night, we propped our backs against the wall in the hushed hallway. Andrew took my hand in his and tenderly cupped his other hand on top. Warmth entered my weariness. We closed our eyes and he prayed. He prayed that we would find discernment and courage, that we would be led where we needed to go. His words, his touch, opened a sea of calm in me that carried me all night long. The next day, just 3 days before the march, Andrew's phone rang.
"This is Lieutenant Hawkins from Central Precinct. I understand you're having a march in a few days, and I see you don't have a permit."
I imagined Andrew's heart quickening. The lieutenant was right. This was our first march, and no one told us that we were supposed to request a permit 4 days before.